And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Carol Morgan, spiritual mentor, channeler, and public speaker. After her spiritual awakening, she started channeling Zena Allen, a Blue Avian collective consciousness. Carol, thanks for joining me and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here. The pleasure is mine.
Well, we are happy to have you, Carol. And if you don't mind, let's start with a little bit about your background before your spiritual awakening.
My background makes whatever I am living right now the most unlikely. I grew up in Costa Rica in a very conservative environment, Catholic. I had a very uneventful yet very joyful childhood. I don't have any childhood trauma to account for, a great family. I always, since I can remember, wanted to move to the United States. So I made it a mission to move to the United States. I got here in 1994. I went to Augsburg College in Minnesota. And Jeff, what I wanted to do the most was climb that corporate ladder and make a lot of money. That's exactly what I came here for. And with that taken into consideration, what I did was exactly what I set forth to do. I did a really great job at it, and I found myself quite miserable in my 30s. So what I wanted, it was not exactly what I wanted.
Let's fast forward to your spiritual awakening and how you evolved afterwards.
So because I had recreated what I had in Costa Rica, which was what I was trying to get away from. I grew up in a well-off family, and it was all about achievement and business and keeping up with the Joneses, etc. I didn't want that. I wanted to create my own path. But, if you move and you don't change your ways, you're going to create exactly what you had before. And that's what I did. What that created was a situation where I was not happy. I was not, let's say, enjoying what I had created. I had not connected with gratitude for what I had created. And I was judging. I was really judging. So with this said, I ended up quite miserable in my 30s, and I ended up in what I called dark night of the soul, which really lasted like 3 years. The lowest time of my life, very difficult time in my life. What that created was a new slate. I was down on my knees, and I believe, Jeff, that's when we become teachable. That's when we become reachable. It's when we acknowledge that we just don't know what in the world we're doing, and we just let go, and we allow for spirit and the universe to finally guide us. That's when things started changing for me. And what that did was it brought the Course in Miracles to my life. And the Course actually opened up so many avenues that I had closed before with my upbringing. I don't judge my upbringing. I don't say that religion is bad. No, it simply was very closed-minded. And this opened up the opportunity for me to see that there is so much more to reality than what we are taught. And when I did that, when I allowed that opportunity for the Course to open my mind, for forgiveness to open my mind and my life, that's when magic started occurring. And I had this spiritual awakening, this I want to call it sudden and fast understanding that we truly are connected, and that truly we are the creators of a subjective world, not the victims of an objective one. And also at that time, I made a decision to embody joy regardless of what was going on around me. And that was the lowest point in my life. But I decided that I was going to become joy. That's when everything started transforming for me. Everything started opening up. My understanding, opportunities in my life, everything accelerated. It was as if I went from 0 to 60 in seconds. It was very, very interesting development.
Do you still follow the Course in Miracles today?
I still do. It's right back here. I consider myself a student teacher of A Course in Miracles. That's how I live. I live by its principles. That's how we have raised our family. My husband was actually the one that found the course. And yes, I do practice it and I do teach it.
Can you share with us some of the biggest insights that you've taken from it?
The biggest insight is that forgiveness changes your life completely because it sets you free. And forgiveness does not mean condoning others' behaviors, especially if those behaviors are not loving. What it means is that we are co-creating here. It's not that you are just, again, a victim of a world that is objective. No, you are creating with your every thought. So if you understand that you are co-creating with every being and that every being around you is an aspect of you, then you understand that you are all in this theatrical play together. You are all creating it for each and every one to benefit from it. So then you start seeing things that you regretted before as neutral. You start seeing people that you believe hurt you before as neutral as well. And then you become free. That is the biggest thing of the Course in Miracles. The biggest teaching of it is that you are forgiving because it hasn't really happened. It's not against you. Life is not against you. It is for you at all times. You just need to see it as such.
I can kind of see the future in the comment section of this video. And if someone leaves a comment like, well, how do people who are in war zones co-create that reality? How would you answer that?
That's a great question. What happens, Jeff, is that the world that seems to be outside is really all a projection of your inner world. So we think we have nothing to do with with the wars abroad. But that is not true. We are creating all of that within us. Everything comes from within. So when you are warring inside, when you are not loving, when you are even being unloving to yourself, when you are judging the world, when you are engaging in lower frequency behaviors, whatever that may be, that is going to be projected in the world in whatever you see unloving. The form may change. It may be war, it may be hunger, it may be whatever it may be, but we are creating that and we are feeding it with our energy. So, how do we change that? By changing the way that we think, by loving ourselves, by being congruent, by engaging in that which is of high frequency, anything that is of high frequency, loving, that is self-expression, that is artistic, that is creative, that is supportive of your community. That is all high frequency, and that is what helps change the world. But again, if we're warring inside, if we're judging, if we're busy being unloving, one way or another, that is going to reflect itself in the world.
If we fast forward a year or two, you started channeling. How did that happen?
That was interesting, and it was not something I sought. So I was in Taiwan, and this was in September of 2018. And I was part of a spiritual gathering, and we were in meditation. And in that meditation, we were led to see a being that had a message for us. So in my mind, I am meditating like everybody. We were 75 people in that room in Taiwan. And I started walking towards a being in that meditation. But all of a sudden, it started feeling different. It was not like every meditation that I had done. I actually knew I was there. And I started realizing that I found myself in the Swiss Alps. Physically, I had never been to Switzerland, but I had the knowing that I was in the Swiss Alps. As I started approaching this being, it started becoming very clear to me that this being was not human. When people ask me, do you see him or did you see him? The answer is no, I perceive them. It's kind of frustrating because I wish I could tell people yes, and this is the description. I don't have such a thing. It's a perception and it's a knowing. And I knew that it wasn't human. It was too large, too big, I guess is what I can say. When I got closer to this being, the message that they gave me was, that I was on my way to changing the world. I didn't know what that meant. It felt important. It felt somewhat heavy. It felt big, but I didn't know what it meant. Finally, when the meditation ended, I fell back into my body and I realized that it was my first out of body experience. I had never had one. It was jarring. It was as if somebody had thrown me back on earth. When I was back in my body, I started receiving information. So this is the first channeling that I got from the Blue Avians. And I picked up a paper and I picked up a pen and I started writing. And the writing came fast and furious for about 5 pages. And basically, they introduced themselves as the Blue Avians. They are extraterrestrial beings, consciousness. They are of 6th density. We are in the 3rd density here. And their mission with humanity is to help us simplify spiritual information so that we can apply it in our daily lives. That's basically it. Yes, they do give me information once in a while on their background and the kind of stuff that people like to know when they are curious about extraterrestrial life. But their mission is not historical, it's philosophical. It's about helping us choose love. It's about helping us in our daily lives, again, implementing the plethora of spiritual information that is out there so that we can make a change in our lives and help us in the ascension that is upcoming.
So it was kind of like automatic writing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would you say that's how all the communication is?
Well, it evolved. That's how it started. It started as automatic writing. Then they started drawing. And these drawings that you see here, these are called energy attunements. Anyway, I started drawing. I draw them by hand and in pencil and without any instruments, because they tell me that if I start using instruments, I start getting in the way of what they are supposed to do. So I started doing the automatic writing, then the attunement started coming, and then I started channeling verbally quite quickly. So that's what I do today. I don't have to close my eyes to channel, but I mostly do just so that I know that I am staying out of the way. If I am channeling something for you and I anticipate that you're not going to like it, or you give me some nonverbals, I'm going to get in the way. So I close my eyes and it just flows. It's quite exciting, quite amazing. And again, something that I wasn't seeking. So it has evolved. And what I have learned about the Blue Avians, what I have learned about Xena, and what I have learned about the nature of human consciousness and even my own consciousness through them has been amazing. It's not something that I could have planned, and definitely something that I did not see coming.
Did the Blue Avians pull you out of your body to Switzerland, or do you think that you spontaneously left and wound up there?
I feel that I spontaneously left and wound up there. And I think that created the opening for them to reach me. I feel that I was ready. If we don't put the work in, they cannot save us from ourselves. We have to do the work. We have to be the ones that ask. We forget to ask. If we don't ask, we're not going to receive. So I feel that what precipitated that was that I was asking for something different in my life. I felt like I was in the verge of something amazing happening, but I didn't know what it was. So I kept asking, please show me. Please show me what it is that I need to do. Please show me. I want to see. I remember asking so many times, I want to see. I want to see. And I believe that asking from the heart is what opened up this communication and this contact. And interestingly enough, I believe that my husband had a huge part in it because he kept asking for extraterrestrial contact. I wasn't interested in extraterrestrial contact at all. I was happy with what I thought I knew and what I thought I could control. I never really dismissed the possibility of extraterrestrial life, but I was too close-minded and too conventional. I just wanted to just keep going, right? But I wanted to see. So me opening that up and his incessant quest for truth is what allowed for this to happen. He always asked for extraterrestrial contact in a way that wouldn't spook him. So they did it through me.
Did you create the name Xina Allen, or is that the name they gave you?
They gave me just the name Xena in September. And when they introduce themselves, they keep saying, my name is Xena, but I am not Xena, I am consciousness. They say they use a name so that we calm down our nervous system and we allow their energy transmissions to do what they need to do. But we like to categorize things. We like to label things. So that's what the name is for. Allen came 2 months later, or 3 months later during Thanksgiving of 2018. My son created a little drawing, and in it, he included everything that he was thankful for Thanksgiving. And he wrote Zena Alien, but he was little, so he misspelled alien. And I asked him, who's Zena Allen? And he says, Mom, it says alien. So anyway, in the subsequent transmission, they said that they liked the name Zena Allen and that they were going to use it as a pseudonym for me to be able to put their work out in the world. So that's what it became. So when I started transmitting these attunements and I started putting them out in the world, it comes with the name of Zena Allen. And by the way, these are all on my website for free for people to look at them and benefit from them.
What kind of messages has Xena given you about humanity and the earth?
Oh my goodness, so much. Well, I just did a live stream today, and the message that they're giving right now is that 2025 is going to be a year of recalibration. So when we think of recalibration, we understand that there is something that has been going a certain way, but it's unbalanced. So balance is needed. And in order to come to that place of balance, he says, it's going to be really important for us to release. We hear time and time and time again in the spiritual world that we need to release that which no longer serves us. But what he was saying just this morning is that it's important that we just release everything, that we do not create attachments, because attachments keep us here. They keep us in the third density. It keeps us in the world, and we don't want to be in this world. We want to continue to evolve. So what he is saying is we need to stop judging our experiences. We judge them as good or we judge them as bad. And we tend to hang on to the good ones, and we tend to romanticize the good ones. And still we're looking at the past, which is already gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So what he was saying today is that it's going to be really important going into 2025 that we simply release the good and the bad, so to speak, so that we create space for the new. And again, for this recalibration, we need to feel detached, because if we attach to things that are known to us, like whatever it may be financial system, it may be educational system, it may be healthcare system, even if these things are not working for our benefit, if we are attached, we cannot change them. We cannot give room to the new. So that's what he was speaking of this morning, but they speak of the difference between joy and happiness. They speak of the difference between prosperity and abundance. They speak of how it is that we create with our every thought. They speak of rules of engagement rather than creating boundaries. We hear a lot of, oh, we need to have healthy boundaries. A boundary is a boundary. There is no such thing as healthy. It separates us. So what they teach is that we need to focus on the interaction with other beings and which ones are the ones that we want to foster and we want to embrace. And those are the ones that propel, not the interactions that take, and not the interactions that drain us, but the interactions that propel us. And they propel us by us propelling others. So what does this mean? Does this mean that we are doormats? No. It means that when we need to say no, we say no from a place of love And when we need to say yes, we say yes. We are congruent, but not creating any more boundaries. That needs to stop. Separation is what has us in the position that we are in right now in humanity. And we need to understand that it is in connecting and in embracing each other that we're going to continue to evolve in our spiritual journey.
Did he mention any other ways to prepare for this recalibration?
Not this morning. We're going to do a workshop on January 1st, and more is going to come on this. It's a whole day, so I expect that there's going to be a lot of information, but not this morning. I know it's coming, but that was the gist of what he transmitted this morning. By the way, I am happy to channel for you if you would like.
All right, great. Do you have to do anything to get prepared?
No, you can just ask whatever you want to hear, and I will bring them through.
Okay. Xena, how did you contact Carol?
Is that the question for them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll take my glasses off just because that's what I do. I will breathe and let them through, okay?
Okay. I can ask multiple questions?
You sure can. Do you want to ask them now or one at a time?
One at a time.
Okay, sounds good. You sure can ask whatever you want. My name is Zena. My name is Zena Allen indeed, and what a joy. What a pleasure. Anytime we have the opportunity to reach humanity, humans that are curious, humans that are open, and humans that want to know, we rejoice because that is an open door for change. Awareness is the precursor to change. My name is Zena. I am not Zena. I am consciousness. And how we connected with this dear being is a very long story. We want you to understand that there are no coincidences. There is no such a thing. Everything in your life is, well, planned by you. For what reason? For the reason of evolution, of expansion, and of growth, with the idea of all that is to experience itself in all kinds of unique ways. This being in particular has the mission of helping humanity break free from whatever it is that holds them back. That is our mission through her as well. We allowed, if you will, for her what you would call youth years to go as they were planned. She did what she needed to do. And at the time that she became teachable, as she calls it, the dark night of the soul, that's when we made contact. That's when it became possible. We made contact because she cleared her mind. We made contact because she trained her mind out of the programs and the indoctrination that societies in your planet and on your planet give you, which is that you are a limited being and that what you see is what there is. There is so much more. There is so much more to reality. And if you train your mind to create consciously, that is when we can reach you. That is how we reach this being. Now, was this again a coincidence? The answer is no. There was an agreement. We do not call these contracts. In your society, you have attached we call it certain negative connotation to this word. We say agreement because both parties or any parties involved are on the same length, on the same wavelength, on the same alignment, and whatever it is that they need to experience is a match. Her experiences that needed to be, let us say, developed in this realm matched our mission, and we agreed. Furthermore, this being happens to be my sister, but that is yet another story. My name is Zena Allen. We will speak some more.
It's interesting that you said that she is your sister because I was just about to ask, was Carol an ET prior to this incarnation?
Great question. My name is Zena Allen, and we are back. And the answer is yes, but we're going to go in a little deeper. It is important for humanity to understand that none of you originated in this planet. Your origin is not from here. Let's call it here Earth. This realm is a realm of separation and duality, seeming separation and seeming duality, because all there is truly love. What you create here is, let's call it a playground. And it is the ego's playground. It is a place, let's call it a place, where you allow the ego to run rampant while you have forgotten that you know everything there is to be known, and while you have forgotten that you are the universe itself. You allow this for expansion. You allow this for fun. No one originated here. You come at the time that you are ready to have this separation experience, but what happens is that many beings get stuck in this cycle. They get stuck. Why? Because they get lured back in, they get attached to the material, and it becomes hard for them to leave the material world. Some beings, like this one, decide to come and help. This one did not need to be here at this particular time, but she decided to. And here she is. Her mission with humanity is to help. So, with that, we will answer your question. Is she an extraterrestrial? And the answer is yes. But you have been it all. She has been it all. You have been all kinds of extraterrestrial beings, all races, whatever you want to call it. And even within humanity, you have been it all. You have been those big names like Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, etc. And you have been the robber in the street. You have been the teacher in the school. You have been Mother Teresa. You have been it all. However, there is a particular reality or timeline, let us call it, that becomes most important for you at a certain junction in your journey. And that is the one that you're going to become aware of. It would not be beneficial for you to remember everything that you have been. In fact, the human mind, as limited as it can be, does not benefit from having all this information. Little by little, as you become aware, those are the experiences or the knowledge that inform the experiences that you need. This one, for this particular incarnation, needed to understand that the most, let us say, the closest incarnation or origin that she needs to be aware of is Blue Avian for a very particular mission to be carried on. My name is Xina, and we will speak some more.
How can someone get unstuck?
Hmm, Let's ask. My name is Xina. My name is Zena Allen indeed. And the answer is quite simple: by choosing love. What happens is that this realm is created as a realm of duality, of contrast, as we just said, for you to choose. You either choose love or you don't. The faces of not love are many. The one that we want to bring to your attention at this moment is fear. When humans vote for fear in any of its forms, whether it be sickness, whether it be anger, whatever it may be, when humans choose that, they choose not love. And that continues to weigh them down and keep them in this realm. They believe in this realm, they believe in the material world, and they continue to put more emphasis on that which they see. And they start forgetting even deeper and deeper. When humans choose love and when humans become congruent, they start rising in frequency, rising and rising. The more they choose love, the more they are congruent, the higher they go in frequency. A higher frequency means that you are vibrating at a faster rate. You are therefore ascending. It is in ascending, dear love, that you get stuck out of this cycle. It is in ascending, dear love, that you expand. And it is in ascending that you bring to the collective consciousness the experiences that it needs to remember that it is love. My name is Xina, and we will speak some more.
Many people see what we call orbs. Are those orbs beings like you, pure conscious beings appearing as energy?
Interesting question. My name is Xina. My name is Zena Allen indeed. We will tell you that most orbs are beings. They are energy. In fact, there has been video of orbs coming into this dear being as she is channeling or about to channel. And this is basically us coming into the energy field for the purpose of channeling. What is channeling? Directing energy in a particular way. So it is important for humans to always use their discernment in everything that they are doing and in everything that they are hearing and receiving. When we teach, we say to you, always use your feeling center and your discernment right here, not your head. That is the insane mind. You put a lot of emphasis on your thinking, and your thinking has gotten you in the predicament in which you find yourselves at this time. We are proponents of you using your heart as a feeling center, as a filter, so that you can discern that which aligns with you. If what you are seeing, you feel it and believe it to be a being, then know it to be true. Know it and believe it to be true. If you have your doubts and you say, somebody's trying to pull our leg here, then listen to those thoughts. It is important for you to always decide on your own what resonates with you and what doesn't. And this dear one even includes what we transmit to you. We love you.
Earlier, Carol mentioned that 2025 is going to be the year of recalibration. Are there any other things that we should do to prepare for 2025?
My name is Zena, and the answer is yes. Dear love, it is going to be very important, especially this coming year, for beings to have the courage and the wherewithal and the fortitude to go within and look at where they have not acted, where they needed to act, where they have not cleared the closet that is full of skeletons, where it is that they hold beliefs that are untrue, and where it is that they are not willing to look into. This is the time to look in. And it is important to align yourselves with that energy of inner warrior. And we're not talking about war in the sense that you talk about it, where you kill each other seemingly and where you are fighting. That is not the energy that we are talking about. The energy that we refer to is the energy of striving, the energy of drive, the energy of not staying in the sinkhole of indifference where you see what is happening elsewhere and you don't involve yourself in any way, where you see that your communities are disintegrating and you act as if you are not able to do anything about it. This is a perfect time because of not only the energies that are present, but also the alignment of the planetary bodies. This is a perfect time for humans to stand up and act according to what they believe. It is a great time to be congruent. So if you speak and act in accordance to what you think and what you believe, you are going to be setting yourselves up for a smoother ride in the year to come. It is important for this year as well for you to understand, as we were transmitting earlier through this dear one, that you are not an innocent bystander of your reality, but its mighty creator. The more you become aware of this, the more responsibility, or let's call it ownership, you're going to take of this reality, and you're going to, well, decide to take action. As we say often, dear one, knowledge without action is a liability, and this is going to become very evident in the year 2025. Now, are we fortune tellers? No, dear love, we are not. And we say beware of fortune telling because there is always the element of free will. You humans have free will. you still have the opportunity to say how this is going to go. You always have choice. So there isn't anything really that is going to tell you exactly what is going to happen because you have the final word. So, with much love and with much hopeful expectation and excitement, we hope that in this year of recalibration, you prepare yourselves without fear and you choose love. My name is Zena, and we will speak again.
Will we have open disclosure and contact with our star family anytime soon?
My name is Zena. My name is Zena Allen indeed. Humans are cute indeed. Very cute. Are you not speaking to an extraterrestrial being? Open contact has already occurred. Open contact continues to occur. And as humans continue to raise their frequency, as they continue to do the work of mind clarification and forgiveness, humans are going to continue to openly and more openly, to answer your question, have these experiences. There is an important caveat to this. And it is always, always your seeming authority figures. They have no interest in you understanding how vast the universe is because it is easier to maintain you under control if you are unaware. So there will be shenanigans, as there have been, that are going to distract you. This is why this inner work that we are referring to is so important, so that you become very solid in your practice and in what you believe, so that when you see it, you are able to recognize it, because it happens time and time again that contact is made, and if the human being is not ready, it does not do what it is intended, neither for the human nor for the collective. This year is going to be an important year in your evolution. Not that any other year wouldn't be, but you understand what we mean here. Yes, we have to use language that you can understand. This is an important year because the veil is thinning, and the veil is matter. The more this veil thins, the more humans are going to be able to see what really is. This is why we underline, bold, and italicize the importance of humans doing the work to prepare themselves. And the work is done inside. We love you.
Zena, I have one last question for you. And is there any other urgent message that humanity needs to hear right now?
My name is Zena. My name is Zena Allen indeed. And we appreciate you, dear human, for giving us the opportunity to provide this information. Because if humans do not ask, we cannot infringe upon your free will. We appreciate this question because humanity is at a crossroads. It is important for humans to decide. That is the most important thing right now, is decide. Ambivalence is wearing you out. Decide, dear loves, what do you stand for? This is important at this time. It is important that humans start connecting again at a conscious level. You cannot be disconnected because you are all one. These bodies that you have created through the ego mind are helping you think that you're separate, but you are not. Everything is connected and everything is truly one, dear love. It is important for humans to return to that knowing of oneness. It is essential at this time. It is important for humans to reconnect and to stop the distraction. Now, do you have to do it? No, you don't. You have free will. But if what you want to do is reconnect and ascend, then, dear loves, it is imperative for you to calm your minds and reconnect. So if there is one thing that we would like to impress upon the beings that are going to listen to this message, is that although you have free will and you can do whatever you want to do in this realm and in this incarnation, if you want to ascend, if you want to evolve, if you want to consciously connect with all that is your extraterrestrial families, your guides, your teachers, you need to stay present. You need to stay loving, and you need to meditate. Again, the choice is yours. There is nothing that you should or must do in an incarnation. But if this is what you want, it is imperative that you calm your mind and that you become aware of oneness. It is imperative that you choose love, and it is imperative that you do so by calming your mind. We repeat ourselves obnoxiously, and it is important that you meditate. If you do not calm your mind, you will not be able to hear your own inner guidance. You have not been thrown in this realm without guidance. Your inner knowing, your connection to all that is through your heart. If you quiet your mind, the one that is always distracting you, if you get off your devices and you start going out and having true conversations, real conversations, in-person contact, you are going to start changing a trajectory. And the trajectory that we speak of is continued separation. We hope this message touches your heart because we deliver it with much love, much love, and with the hopeful expectation and excitement that it will resonate with you and you will do something about it and with it. My name is Zena Allen, and we will speak again at another time.
Carol, earlier this year, you had another spiritual awakening in Switzerland. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, so I participated in a hiking and riding retreat in Switzerland in August. Remember that this is where I met Xena in the out-of-body experience. So I had the hope that maybe something would happen, but I was not prepared for what really did happen. I was hiking with the riding group, a group of, I don't know, 8 or 9 ladies. And outside of the city of Murin or the town of Murin on the North Face Trail, I turned around, Jeff, and I recognized the place where I met Xena. In fact, I have an amazing picture. I recognized that I had seen it so many times in my meditations and my visions. I saw the green grass, I saw the little dirt trail, and I saw the snow-capped mountains on my left, and I recognized it. I couldn't stop right there because it was the beginning of the hike and I was with a group. So I just made mental note of where I was. As soon as I got back, I changed my ticket to stay longer after the ladies left. And as soon as the weather permitted, I went back by myself. When I got there, what happened was that I got immediately the knowing that my mission on Earth was done. And I've had a lot of trouble to not let emotion overtake me when I speak of this. So I'm going to do my best to keep talking here. So I didn't know what that meant. What does it mean that your mission on Earth is completed? I didn't know. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do with this information now? So I laid down on the grass. It was a very sunny day. I laid down on the grass and I just allowed. What happened next is so hard to describe, and I still don't have, it's frustrating because I don't have the human words to describe it. But my body basically disappeared, and I became the mountain. And in that vastness and in that greatness, the, the, the material world disappeared. And I experienced infinite love and oneness. There was nothing wrong. The reality around me stopped existing, and I was connected to what truly is, which is love. In there, I recognized that the stuff that we complain about here on Earth doesn't matter. I realized that the stuff that we get attached to here on Earth doesn't matter. The material things, they don't even exist. It's all light. I saw things for what they are. It's just light. I was in this state for several hours. It seemed like it was like this. When I finally connected with the idea of, well, if my mission is done, I can be done with this incarnation. And I started considering the consequences of being done. And I started thinking about my kids and my husband and my family. Boom, back in my body. So I awakened again, the same jarring feeling that I felt in 2018, but this time it was heavier. It was as if the suit, the bodysuit that I was in, was too small. So I came back and I realized that I had chosen to stay. I didn't know what this meant. I had no idea what this experience was for. Nothing. I just had experienced it. So when I came down from the mountain and I called my husband, it was very interesting because that was the beginning of this jarring experience, right? Where I had experienced unconditional love that cannot be described with words. And then I was met with this 3D world. I told him I just had the most amazing experience. And he said, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he started complaining about my son, who's 15, not driving well, right? And how he almost crashed. And that was the beginning of what I feel right now. And I'm not blaming him at all. It is what it is. I had an experience that I cannot communicate, I cannot describe. So that was the beginning of it. I realized, oh my gosh, this doesn't really matter. So coming back from that experience, I have had to piece together what it is for. What was that for? I feel in a certain way that I am kind of directionless, although I know what I want and my desire to help humanity hasn't changed. That blueprint that I knew was there is no longer there. That was my exit point, Jeff. I became aware through visions, through Xina, and through knowing that I had only planned my life until there. And I had set forth a trajectory for my body to stop working right after that. So it wasn't that I was going to die in the mountain. It was that I had set a trajectory that wasn't beneficial for my body. And now I'm dealing with that trajectory. What else? What was that for? Well, I have come to understand that my purpose, my mission in this incarnation was to change my mind. So it sounds anticlimactic, right? We think that we are here to do big things. Well, this seems to be a big thing because when you change your mind, you help others change theirs. And I changed mine in many, many, many aspects. I changed my mind. And I balanced karma in 2024. So with my changing my mind and balancing karma, I was ready to go. I had already helped enough people change their mind. We think that everybody needs to be good in order for us to ascend. No, it just has to be a slight majority. And you don't have to always be good, is what I've understood. You have to be mainly good. You have to be mainly choosing love. That is it. It's not that you have to be perfect, because in your imperfections, your experiences are not only valid, but they're also valuable. So anyway, that was my change of mind in many other levels, but I changed my mind to really understand that we are the creator. And I helped enough people change their mind. So now what? What do I do? So now that's where I find myself. I find myself feeling alien in pun intended in my own life. There's nothing wrong with my life, Jeff. I have a great life, and I created a beautiful life. But it's very interesting because to a certain level, I can't relate to it and I want to, right? It's what I created. But I feel like I can't really relate to the life that I have created. So that's what's going on since August of this year.
Well, do you think at any certain point in your life you will be able to relate to it?
Yes, I have the hope. I've always been a very positive human being, and even going through the mud, I've always come through. So I know that I'm not going to be left alone. We can't be left alone, and I trust 100% intrinsically on Xena. I know they will guide me. And I know that I chose to stay because I know that there's much more that I can do to help humanity. That is truly what I want to do here on Earth. So I know it will happen, Jeff, but I don't know how and when. So right now I'm just working through trust, just really trusting. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, is there anything else that you're working on that you want people to know about?
Well, yes, I am. I am working on uh, continuing to relay this message of love in its urgency because we are so distracted. We are really focusing on stuff that doesn't matter, and we need to stop it. We really need to stop it. We really need to take ownership. So I believe that part of the function or the purpose of this experience is for me to help others that are watching, that are paying attention, so that it serves them in whatever way. But again, with the ultimate purpose of knocking it off. We need to knock it off. We really need to take action, and that action needs to be loving. And it sounds cliche, it sounds repetitive, but that really is all there is. And that's what I understood from that experience of oneness. We are so focused on what doesn't matter here on earth. And we allow differences of opinion to separate us. We allow fear to separate us. We allow ignorance to separate us. And it's time to come together and to understand that every other being that is seemingly outside is just us having a different experience. So, yes, I think and I feel and truly I do know that is part of why I decided to stay and part of what I will continue to share with whoever wants to listen and with whoever resonates. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay.
Carol, after watching this podcast, people may want to reach out to you and ask you questions. Are you open to that?
Yes, absolutely. I am open to any questions. Yes, people can reach out to me. I would be happy to interact with people.
What's the best way to contact you?
The best way is my website, which is XinaAllen.com, XinaAllen.com. My contact information is there. People can subscribe to my newsletter. They can also form part of my free spiritual community. I share a lot of my work for free there, and it's a beautiful and very supportive community.
Before we finish up, can you leave us with one last positive message?
Guys, we are not alone. We cannot be. So even when we feel like we are, even when it feels like things are insurmountable, this is not real. This is truly an illusion. I just lived it. I just experienced it. And what that has done is made me realize that we are here as a game. This really is a game. So we need to lighten up, be less serious about this, and have more joy, have more fun, make this more fun. So we need to connect. We need to stop separating ourselves and being in our devices, in not living life at its fullest. So get out there in nature, enjoy time with your family, get clear as to what really matters, and know that even if it seems really hard today, we are not left alone ever. We are loved and we are eternally supported.
Carol, thank you for your message, and thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, Jeff, for having me.
Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.